On the latest developments on the brewing crisis in Abyei region, I am joined by my colleague John Tanza Mabusu, co-host of VOA Sudan In Focus. Good afternoon, John.
Good afternoon, Shaka.
Well, of course, if you are in Abyei, would be saying good evening, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, talk to us, John. What is the latest on the ground in Abyei?
Well, the latest on the ground is that there is a proposal by the government in Khartoum that the administration of Abyei be on a rotational base. That is, they want the Abyei to be administered jointly by the Messeria and the Dinka Ngok. Meaning, if that goes through, that means the Dinka Ngok will be given time or period to administer Abyei, and then the Messeria will also be given time to administer Abyei. And interestingly, they're also proposing that the two forces, that is the SPLA and the Sudan Armed Forces, will be positioned at, along the Bahr al-Arab. The SPLA will be south of Bahr al-Arab, and then the Sudan Armed Forces will be north of Bahr al-Arab. But that proposal has not been going well with the government of South Sudan. The Minister of Information, Barnaba Benjamin Mariel, just made a statement saying they will not agree anything sort of the Abyei protocol. And on the humanitarian front, the former Abyei administrator has been to Warab to visit the displaced people who are there and urging them to go back to Abyei. And that is going on. And then the aid agencies in Turale and Agog are continuing to help the people who have fled from Abyei, and their number is increasing day by day.
How do you reconcile that proposal with the Comprehensive Peace Agreement of 2005? Isn't this a violation of the CPA?
Well, it's a sort of a violation of the CPA in one way, and in another way it could be some sort of a compromise for the two sides to kind of agree on a workable solution for the conflict in Abyei. Because the Comprehensive Peace Agreement is clear on the security arrangement. They say the Abyei should be jointly administered by the Joint Integrated Unit, that is the component of the Sudan Armed Forces and the component of SPLA. But these two groups have not been on good, friendly basis with each other. They have been fighting each other from the onset since the Joint Integrated Units were formed. They fought in Malakal, they fought in Abyei twice. So I don't think this is going to help the situation anymore.
That kind of arrangement that you're talking about, really, is it the one perhaps that should have ended on January 9th if we had had a referendum in Abyei?
Right, it should have ended on January 9th because what is happening is that the components of the Joint Integrated Forces in the south, how they withdrew back to the north, and then the ones who are in the north also withdrew back to the south. But at the end of the day, the peace agreement expires by July 9th, and there are still a lot of post-referendum and post-CPA issues that are to be discussed. One issue is the border demarcation. It has not been really finalized. You don't know where the border between the north and south lies, and that is a recipe for conflict.
We know, of course, that there are large oil deposits in Abyei. We are also talking about very fertile, grasslands there. But frankly, if you were to talk to us from the deepest, better part of your Sudanese heart and soul, what are the fundamental root causes, really?
The root causes of the issues surrounding Abyei is, one, yes, oil is one of them. Two, the grazing land. Because what happens is that the Messeria who come from the north have been having a migratory pattern, sort of life. They bring their animals to Abyei to graze during the dry season, because in Abyei there is a lot of water, there is grass for the animals. And then during rainy season, they migrate back to the north. And that has been going on for quite a long time. And with the referendum on Abyei, the Messeria feel threatened. They think if the people of Abyei vote for separation, then they're not going to bring their cattle for grazing in the south. And at the same time, the Dinka Ngok view the Messeria with a lot of suspicion. They think the Messeria are going to stay in Abyei forever, and they strongly believe that the Messeria don't belong to Abyei. And so with these two issues underlying there, it's a recipe for conflict, because there is a bone of contention here already between the two groups. One group is saying, this is our land. The other group is saying, no, you only come here to graze your animals. So you cannot say you belong to this area. So these are the issues. And with oil being discovered in Abyei, it even makes the matter worse.
If I heard you correctly, you seem to be suggesting that it is, in fact, the Dinka Ngok who really own the place, that particular area, whereas you seem to suggest that the Mezeria are actually part-time residents. Is that what you're saying?
History puts it correct, that the Dinka Ngok have been in the area from the 1990s. And so if you look at the immigration pattern of the people in Sudan, if you look at the history of Sudan, my history teacher told me that the Arabs in Sudan migrated from Asian Mirror. And their migration was in the late 1945. And if you look at that, the Dinka Ngok have been there from the 1990s. So it clearly tells you that they have been there more than the Mezeria, who have been coming there and going.
Is there any evidence, final question, is there any evidence to suggest, for example, that the Dinka Ngok would like to join their brethren in the south, or would they in fact wish to join the Arabs of Khartoum, or would they in fact perhaps wish to be an autonomous area? There
has been quite a lot of engagement between the two ethnic groups, that's the Dinka Ngok and the Mezeria. But if you look at the 9 chiefdomship of the Dinka Ngok, they had a conference in Kadukli where they clearly stated that they have no problem with their brothers from the Mezeria to come and graze their land there, but it should be some sort of agreement so that each party could refer to if there is any breach in this agreement. And that tells me clearly that if the Dinka Ngok are suggesting that, then they want to be part of the South, because they are sort of getting into some engagement with their Mezeria to map up a way forward for them to coexist with one another.
Any particular reason why we never had the January 9th referendum going on simultaneously as happened in the South?
The two parties have not agreed on the issue of voter eligibility. That is, the SPLM and the National Congress Party did not agree on who is eligible to vote in the VOA referendum. According to the Comprehensive Peace Agreement, it says that the people of Abyei will vote on a referendum to decide their destiny, whether they want to be part of the North or they want to be part of the South. But the National Congress Party says the referendum of Abyei should be done in a way that the people of Abyei and the Mezeria should take part in the referendum. But the SPLM is saying, no, the CPA does not include the Mezeria. So that is a bone of contention, and it kept dragging on until the Abyei referendum failed to take place on the 9th of January, simultaneously with that of the South Sudan.
Well, thank you so much, John, for your insight.
You're welcome.
Thank you. For